Aaron Plessinger, A1 here. I want to start with the heat race. From your perspective, what happened? And has Cooper reached out to you yet?
Yeah, for sure. He reached out, and obviously, Coop, we've known each other for a while, and there's been times where he could have did much worse to me, and it hasn't happened. So I know that wasn't on purpose. It was just a weird thing. I checked up for the corner. He thought I was going to go outside, and I didn't. So he gave me the old 1-2. So
puts you in the wall a little bit.
Yeah. So either way, I don't hold grudges, but yeah, it was a little wild for the first round. But either way, got a good start. I knew right then my starts were unreal. I was just confused with the whole thing. I got hit, and then I thought he got hit, but yeah, I was just confused, man. But either way, we went to the LCQ, and we won, number one.
Yeah.
I'm leading the points. I'm leading the points for the what do they call it now? The wild card. I am a wild card, and I'm the wild card points leader.
I love it. All right, walk us through your main event. How was that for you? What did you take away?
Yes, I wish there wasn't the red flag. Obviously, a lot of reasons I wish that. You never want to see that, and I hope everybody's all right from that. But did have a really good start in that first start. Then, yeah, we had to restart. But second start didn't go so hot. Ran off the track, got all the way to 22nd, and then just started the charge. And at first I was running a really good lap, so I was catching everybody in front of me, and then about halfway through I was just picking and choosing lines and trying to weave my way through. But if you ever came from last place, it's pretty hard in Supercross, especially this track. There was not a lot of places to pass. So I got up to 11th and got kind of me and Christian had a pretty good battle there for a while. Ended up getting by him, and then it was just, it's not what I wanted, but overall I'm healthy. I'm coming out of this place in one piece and headed to San Diego better than last year. So that's all I want to do.
All right, last one. You talk about coming through the pack like that. That has to build a lot of confidence in your motorcycle. If you get out front, you're riding good laps, but coming through the pack, you have to change different lines and pick and choose lines you may not want, and you still were able to do that. So I feel like that really ups the confidence. Yeah, for sure. And I think going back this week, we can make the bike even better. And it's going to be a good week. Got full confidence in myself. My fitness is where it needs to be. My bike's in the ballpark. I'm happy, even though didn't go the way I wanted to. Unfortunate events, but like I said, we're walking out of here healthy, and we get to go ride our dirt bike on Monday and get even better. So awesome.
I'm stoked.
Thanks, AP.
Yes, sir.
Jason Anderson, we just finished up at A1.
Yeah.
After all the off-season races and getting comfortable on the bike, a new bike, right now, how do you feel you are with that bike? Are you at 100% where you want it, 80%?
Yeah, motorcycle-wise, I'm really, really comfortable on my motorcycle. I didn't make any changes today or anything like that. I think the hardest part right now is just when I did all that travel and I came back, I think there's a little bit of cold flu going around. So, man, I really had to manage my energy today. But luckily we have a week off and I'm able to not have to fly to another continent for the next race. So, yeah, I could go home and recover, and hopefully I can have a little more energy because I feel like my riding is good enough to battle these guys.
Yeah, you were really spicy today. Walk us through your main event. There was a lot of mayhem. Had to kind of keep safe and just get through the night, it felt like, for most guys. And the red flag, of course.
Yeah, since the last round at WSX, so WSX we have to use different fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So on my starts, it kind of makes our bike slower. So I've been more aggressive, and then I tried to be the same, but with the VP fuel, our bike's so much faster. And I messed up my heat race start, and then in the main event, I tried to do the start map on the first one, didn't work, and I was far back. And then luckily the restart, I was able to just deal with it and make it a good start.
All right, well, hey, I know you got to go, so thank you for giving us a couple questions, and yeah, good luck next weekend.
Cool, thank you.
Mitchell Oldenburg finishing up here at A1. You're about to get out of here. First off, coming into the season, before A1, where did you think you were versus where you finished?
I mean, position-wise, I would have liked to have been a little bit more up front, but I felt like I was battling the guys that I kind of expected to. Would have liked to have been in front of them, but yeah, I mean, all in all, it was a good night. A lot of positives from the off season that kind of trickled into tonight. I felt like my fitness.
Give me one positive.
My fitness, I think, is a big step from the last couple of years. I felt like I had more time to prepare. I started working with Zach Osborne. Just been super consistent with my training and my riding, and everything's been going very smooth. So just got to kind of fix my mentals a little bit. I feel like I come into these first few rounds a little too cautious, and kind of just let's see how these first few go and then build from there, which I think I'm at a high enough level now to where I can I've really been at a high enough level for a while now. I need to get rid of that cautiousness in the first few rounds and kind of go for it a little bit more. But positive night. Bike was sick. No complaints on that. We made a couple changes throughout the weekend that really helped in the right direction. So just take what we learned and keep building from here.
On the caution thing, I feel like you talked to me about that a couple years ago. I mean, you're a little bit older. You got a family. Like at the end of the day, you're racing, but you have a family to take care of. So you can't afford to go get hurt and miss a whole season.
Yeah, for sure. And it's hard to think about that.
Yeah.
Or hard not to think about that, I guess. Because I do want to do the best I can, and I feel like I have a lot left in the tank, but the thing between my ears right now is holding me back a little bit early on. So I think we can definitely improve on that. I don't think, coming into San Diego, I'm going to be balls to the walls taking swings like I was when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. But if we can improve on that, I think that's the next step for me.
Okay, so walk me through your night. There's obviously a restart. How did that affect you? Unfortunately, with the press, we missed a bunch of the beginning of the race. So just kind of walk me through your main event.
Yeah, the first start, I actually nailed it, and I was in like 7th place. And Malcolm I was side by side with Malcolm on the jump that he crashed on, but he doubled it. So I had no idea what happened. Was pretty bummed about the red flag, but obviously that situation, it needed to be thrown. Exactly. So to be honest, with us having to do a race, I didn't see anything. I didn't even turn around. I didn't want to know what was going on. Those are some pretty serious things, especially now that I'm older. It can be a mental block and kind of keep you from doing your job and riding safely. So the second the restart, I got another good jump, just got kind of pushed wide in the first turn and shuffled back. And I don't know, my main was real up and down. Like I had four good laps, 2 really bad ones. 4 good laps, 2 bad ones. And I just felt like I wasn't recovering quick enough from my mistakes. They were bleeding over into laps, and that's what really cost me tonight. So unfortunately, I was in 14th the last lap, and I just tucked the front like a dummy. So I was 16th tonight. But not stressed about results. We're just here to get better and just keep fighting.
Okay, last one. I guess leading into next week in San Diego, is there one specific thing you feel like you need to work on this week?
Yeah, just my mental. Okay. Just knowing I belong here and can battle these guys. I think I maybe get pushed around a little bit too much early on, and I think if I can fight a little harder and stay in front of those guys a little bit longer and make it tougher on them to get around me, it's gonna end in a better result. So that's the goal. Just fight harder, fight longer, and hopefully a couple rounds from now we're in that top 10 and we're fighting those guys. So I know it's gonna take time. It's gonna be a process, and I'm okay with that. It's just life, really. I mean, that's how everything goes in life, is the process, and we'll just keep building.
Yeah, unfortunately, with your teammate Benny Bloss getting hurt yesterday at press day, you're now carrying the sole carrier of the flag for Beta USA. So, yeah, we want to keep that bike on the track. We don't need to have to get Dare DiMartilla in here to race in Supercross. So, yeah, good luck next week. And, man, thanks for some of your time.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
We just finished up at A1. And unfortunately, Justin Barsha got hurt. But all in all today, I think the bike looked amazing. The riders were really gelling with it. Very impressed with the bike. How do you feel about the situation with the bike at the end of the night?
Yeah, actually we are really happy, of course, from what we've seen on track. Not happy for sure about the injury of Justin. Unfortunately, racing accidents, can happen like this. But for the bike side, we are really happy. We improve a lot, since a year now. I started racing it a bit with this bike, so actually it's nice to see the bike on Supercross, and it's making me really proud of what we have done in the past months, let's say.
Yeah, you should be. It's really special to have a new manufacturer here and see you guys do so well so early. I didn't get a chance to talk to Dylan Ferrandis coming off the track. Did he have any feedback of what maybe he'd like to see better for next week and what he was happy with?
Yeah, I think Dylan had a good speed. I think he had the top 5 speed easily, and but of course, the race pace is missing the racing from Supercross from a couple of months now. So I mean, he's back and new bike. He need to learn also this bike. So. Yeah, he had some drops after 10 minutes to the end, but I think in next races he will figure it out the things, and he will be top 5. I think is around the corner for us.
Let me actually ask you one more. It's going to be about another team, but what are your thoughts on Jorge getting on the podium? I mean, that was special. I didn't expect it.
I mean, I know the potential of Jorge, of course, and what we see last year was something strange, and I know. His strong point is the start, and as he gets a start, even if it's a bit slower in some parts of the track, he can hold on really good also with the pressure of the back. So that's what he did in both in the heat race and also in the main event. So I'm really surprised, of course, because I mean third nobody expected, but I think his skills are a top 5 guy, each round. So that's hopefully he can keep the momentum.
Awesome, thank you for your time.
Of your mindset throughout the race?
Yeah, those races are tough. Leading from basically the get-go. Of course, I had to make one pass there after the restart, but like focusing for those full 20 minutes, being in the lead the whole time, those are some of the toughest races. Even though it may look like there's not much going on, it's definitely becomes a mind game of focus and watching the guy behind you, marking where they're at. That being Kenny, and I felt like we were basically neck and neck, even though we weren't right. Like he wasn't right on me, but he was keeping me very, very honest the whole time. So, like I said, there wasn't much going on to it, but it was definitely a mind game. Other than that, motorcycle was probably the best it's been all day, and that was in the main event. So it made one small change between the heat race and the main, and we went the right direction, and hey, this is the right way to start.
Jamie Guida, Motoxpod. Eli, you mentioned yesterday in the press conference that you kind of always wonder, can I still do this at my age? And then you switch teams also, new bike. So were you expecting to, I mean, you couldn't have been expected to come out and win like this.
You never know. You never know. I mean, you just don't know until you get out here and race everyone straight up. So, of course, we had 2 preseason races there with WSX, and had one good one bad one, and then you do have some questions, and then we've been testing all over the place, California to Florida, Colorado, Arizona, so been all over, kind of raced all over. So we really put ourselves to the test, finding conditions, and I knew would be near the front, but the win you don't know till we get out here and that main event gate drops.
Scoop tire aside, how different is the bike from your last off-season race, and where are maybe the biggest improvements or changes?
It basically just came down to a little bit of balance with a little bit of shock, a little bit of fork. So there was some changes leading up to this, and just fine-tuning. Like I was able to make some changes when I went to Florida and then confirming that like in the hard pack stuff in Arizona. So the tire was a big thing, probably one of the biggest changes for me. You know, I've been very locked in with that scoop tire for the most part. So, but sometimes you got to make change to get better, and for me that worked. But it's also a combination of working in the bike as a whole.
In the preseason press conference, you talked about the only thing that you had to prove was that you could win at this age, be competitive at this age. The other side of that coin is when you get to this point, you can amass the stats that you have. 12th consecutive season winning 4 different OEMs. Can you talk a little bit about the feeling of legacy?
It happens in a flash, and it's kind of scary to think that I have won 12 seasons. All of a sudden it is here. So I'm just grateful to be able to still do it. My mind still feels good. I'm still into it. So and physically I'm well. So here I am, still here. So 12 seasons, kind of crazy.
Congratulations, Eli. Jack from Racing Jack YouTube. I remember at this race last year, preseason, the media was trying to put you on the spot saying, will you retire if you have a good finish? How fulfilling is it to come out this year and show you're still the head of the class?
Hey, it puts a lot of questions to rest for age, and of course switching teams, and those are I mean, changing motorcycles, changing teams. That's obviously one of the biggest thing you can do in our sport, right? So, hey, we did it. After the start, that lane, the on-off triple there. So I saw that from actually Anstie in the main event. So I had those lines dialed in, and you know, I put good laps together, and I was keeping Kenny at bay. So I kind of had the feeling of the pace that I needed, where I needed to be. So that's kind of how I played it.
What was the change you made, if you don't mind me asking, before the main?
We changed some stuff in the forks. Yep.
All right. Thank you, Eli.
It's quite good, really.
You've achieved so much in your 250 career. Where does today's win rank amongst your wins and successes?
Well, I think it's definitely got to be at the top. Anaheim is special. You know, when I was just a kid, 7, 8, 9 years old, I remember coming to this race, watching this race, dreaming about this race, thinking that it was so far away that I don't know if I'd ever, you know, I was just a kid. I was like, I don't even know how to get here, how to even be here. And like I said on the podium, hopefully, you know, I can be some inspiration to these kids that are still trying to figure it out, that feel like, you know, I came from England. I'm a long way away from here, and to have made it here now. I'm 32 years old. People might go, oh, yeah, when you're 16, 18, I'm, you know, it'd be great. I would love to have been in this position when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. But man, coming from the UK, making it all the way over here, it's been something special. And I think for the kids that are don't have life all figured out, don't really know how to get to this place, everyone's on their own timeline. You can get there. And definitely this is a special one because I grew up coming here, dreaming of this place, and to get it done here is definitely special. So got to give it up to the whole crew, the Monster Energy, Star Racing, Yamaha guys. Did a great job with the bike, executed well. I know, maybe I'm a little older. I realise it's only round 1. Got 9 more to go. After last year, I know what can happen in 7 days' time. So I'm really pumped. But tomorrow, focus on next week and keep this thing rolling.
Your turns were really notchy in practice, but much more fluid in night show. So was that a bike setup thing, a mental thing? What made it better?
To be honest, you did coming in the truck, and you know, it's like Lightning McQueen says, you know, got to give the race a little sizzle, and bike setup went like a million clicks softer, basically. Was struggling in so all my pre-season races, racing all of that stuff. I then came back, I mean, you know all this. I was on a completely different setup, change to this new setup, the team basically came to me after my last race in South Africa and were like, we think we've got a better package. It was great at the practice track, but you never know until you come racing. And then in practice, I'm like, oh, it's way slipperier and more hard packed than kind of what we train on. I also didn't have confidence of getting a win or anything with that stuff. I mean, I do now, so happy days. But I was searching a little bit in practice. But we went through things methodically, made a few changes, and worked well in the night show, so happy days.
Adam from Track Talkers. Max, you mentioned bringing a little sizzle to the race. Let's break that down a little bit. There was a pass before the triple where, I mean, we were talking, you were splitting hairs. Can you take us through mentally kind of setting that up? Why you weighed that risk out and what the reward was?
Well, I think the AMA or whoever came up with the new tough blocks. Good job. I think you saved me there. Very happy with that. I was like, oh no, I've gone a bit tight, and I was coming straight at him, but it was fine. I was like, I landed on. Okay, it was a bit sketchy, but I wouldn't want to do it again. But I'm still here. So, thanks to those guys. It was a really awkward section, and you know this. We don't ever that's a weird angle for like a rhythm with kind of I don't even know, an obtuse angle. I don't know if that's the right way. It's like bigger than a 90 degree. It was like weird. So you're kind of jumping across that thing anyway into the face, and I didn't want chance to like catch something and hook. So I was threading the needle, but I knew I needed to go. I thought I was going to be 6 inches further to the right, and I was going to land nicely, but I was a little too far to the left. But again, a little risk, get some reward, eh?
Last question.
Max, you've won all over the world, but across the Supercross, would you say this is the biggest race win of your career?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously a comeback to Matley 2017, that was great at home. But this one, that was something special in a different way. But as far as it goes of like, oh, you've made it in Supercross, like, it's cool. Like, mate, I remember coming to America in 2020 after 9 years of GPs, thinking, man, I want to get back to America. I was teammates with Adam, sat over there. We're just trying to make the night show, trying to make the main event. And then we're like, and what, 5 years later, here I am on top of the box with the best team in the 250 class. Like, it's unreal the way that it's all worked out. So I just think that the journey, getting to this place is something special. So yeah, very thankful and grateful for it all. Of course, I want to be in this thing for the championship. That's the goal. We've got 9 more rounds to go. I don't expect every night to be as smooth as tonight, but hey, I'll take it. Let's roll on next week.
Thank you, Max.
This is an okay, got down.
Yeah.
Can I go funny?
Yep.
Get on my tippy toes.
I'll stand out your way.
Thanks.
We're going to jump into this. Joining us, Hayden Deegan. Hayden, great speed all day today, and the fight back that you had to do in that main event. What was propelling you?
Yeah, I really made a mistake switching my gate on the start. I'm regretting that one. I should have just stayed where I was at. I don't know, I was trying to find a better rut. It happens though, it's the first round. One day I'll hit my luck on this first round, but tonight wasn't the night, but we'll get there.
Adam from Track Talkers. Do you consider this a success? Obviously you can't win the championship at the first round, but you showed speed and you showed your consistency. How do you come out from the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wanted to win. That's always the goal, but no, I'm not tripping. I know how many races we have and still in the top 5 at the first round. Healthy, so we'll just go back to work, and I know I have my starts right. I just brain fogged on that one, so we'll get everything back in line and come out swinging next weekend.
Max and Levi was stepping onto the table out of turn 2. I didn't see you do it much, if at all. What was the reasoning for that?
Yeah, to be honest, I think I kind of blew. Honestly, I was just kind of brain fogged that race. I was just trying to make passes and stuff, and I don't know. Sometimes you kind of throw stuff out the door, but we'll regain it.
Jamie Guida, Motoxpod. Hayden Deegan, starting off, kind of coming from a little bit of a deficit. Does that make it a little easier almost, where now you have something to build towards a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. Right now where I'm at, I feel like I'm, perfect shape. I feel like I'm riding well. When it comes down to race time in the main event, I just got to put it together. And I'm kind of notorious for starting a little slow in Supercross. So, I try to work on it and, get better at it this year, but we just missed it a little, obviously. So all we can do is just, keep building and off on my flow.
Josh Mosman here from Motocross Action. Congratulations, Hayden. Track today was unique. Didn't look too hard, but then there were certain obstacles that everyone was doing, but it would throw people off here and there, like the sand section, that kind of wall jump almost that you guys were jumping over sometimes, jumping off it sometimes, over to the over-under, and then even the next rhythm lane going into third base, that triple before the whoops, sending people to the moon. And that looked pretty challenging. So give us an overall rating of the track. Was it easy? Was it hard? And then tell us about those obstacles of sand and that steep triple.
Yeah, I think it was really technical. I wasn't expecting come race time there'd be so many options, right? So it was a very technical track, and definitely, you had to be on tonight. And unfortunately, we were just a little off.
Do you feel like all of the time on the 450 in the off season has cost you at all? Are you as prepared as you were for A1 last year?
No, I'm 100% prepared and ready to go. I just got to find my flow, and we'll take off. Once I get that little mind switch to go back to where I can find my flow, it's game over. But we just got to find that.
Adam from Track Talking again. You talked about switching your gate up. Can you take us through the steps going into the main event about, hey, why did I go here? Why didn't I go here? And also just break down what's brain fog.
Yeah. I on that gate, the box gate was pretty rough. It's like, I'm gonna get on that smooth gate, and unfortunately, I should have just realized I have suspension on my dirt bike and stuck with that bumpy gate, right? So I think that's where I kind of had that little brain fog, was just like trying to find a smooth line when I just don't need to overthink it and just go with the flow.
Hayden, along with the track being challenging, it's also challenging watching riders get injured. I know you watched that 450 main event. Supercross is such an gnarly sport. That incident with Malcolm Stewart and Justin Marshall could have been avoided if it was a tabletop. But if it was a tabletop, it wouldn't be Supercross. So take us through what it's like to watch, guys that that you're around and that you have raced in, will race in. What's it like to watch a guy get injured like that, and how do you bounce back from that? Especially for even the guys on the line in the 450 class. How do you guys reset, and what goes through your mind even right now, being Hayden Deegan and just witnessing such a gnarly crash like that?
No, yeah, I missed. I got up there late. I didn't even see the crash, so I'm kind of out of the loop on that one. But on the first laps, it's super intense, and I feel like when there's those fast 90 or even less than a 90, it was just like that fast sweeper turn into triples like that. And there's so many guys, it tends to, once you're in the middle of the pack, some guys have to double or some guys have to roll. And honestly, as hard it is to say, it's just the nature of Supercross. And it's like you can go around and around to try and find a fix for it, but it's just like once you're in that mid pack and a guy rolls, you got to be really, really cautious. And it's the last thing you want to see is someone get hurt like that. So it's sad, unfortunate, and hopefully they'll get better.
Last one.
I think we're good.
Anybody? Hey, Hayden. You were coming through your pack. Did you learn anything with your bike setup, or any questions that you had coming into this race with your bike setup, and did you answer those questions?
No, my bike feels great. Honestly, my body feels great. My bike feels great. I just gotta kind of get in that mode and that flow. That takes me a little while to find in Supercross during the season. Last year, it took me till I got it at A2 obviously, but it'd be nice to get that next weekend. Come out fire next weekend. I had the speed today in the heat race. We just got to get that flow by next week.
Thank you, Hayden.
Yeah, thanks.
Made a lot of changes over the offseason. How validating is tonight's performance?
Yeah, it's really rewarding. I worked in silence and I just did my own thing, and just really took a chance on myself this year after doing my third knee. Had a lot of doubt. There was a lot of doubt around me. And we buckled down, and it's put a lot of work in, and like stuff like this, I'm kind of speechless still because it seems a little surreal. 6 months ago, I was on a surgery table getting my knee fixed. You know, like it's pretty wild and a bit surreal, but everything I worked for is for this moment. You know, and especially coming to a first round and getting a second place. Chaotic night could have been way worse. You know, it's very rewarding.
Beautiful ride tonight. Questions from the media?
Jamie Guida, Motoxpod, Chance Hymas, you got on the podium tonight, obviously. What were your honest expectations coming into this round? Were you expecting podium?
Absolutely, yeah. I believe in my skill and my technique and all the work I put in. I believe that, you know, it's set me up for this moment. I feel like I'm fully capable of winning podiums every weekend. Obviously, that's just accomplishing all the goals I set in place and connecting the dots every weekend. So, yeah, I mean, I could sit here and think this and that, you know, but I got to go out and perform and click off and check the boxes, you know. So, it's, yeah, definitely I expected it. Also, you don't really know how everything's going to end up, but I expect myself to win or at least podium every weekend. That's what I believe, you know.
Thanks.
It's been some time since you raced, so did you feel rusty at all today? Were there any unusual nerves or feelings?
I would say same feelings as usual. A little rusty in the heat race. Apparently I still think I'm racing outdoors because I was basically in the stands in the first corner. Didn't stop, but no, it was, honestly, I feel like it came back to me pretty quick, and luckily in the heat race, I feel like fortunately for me, getting a bad start, it kind of forced me to, you know, get my racecraft back a little bit, and I felt really good there, especially not racing for however long it's been. So, yeah, I would say the rest is knocked off for sure. I wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but yeah, there's definitely a little bit.
Chance, Rock Fall Work Race Rex, things seem to heat up pretty fast out there. Was there any point that you just said to yourself, I need to calm down and just race my race?
I feel like I kind of tell myself that the whole time, and I felt like coming into this race, I had in my brain just be calm the whole race. Kind of just let things fall in place. There's no point to rush it and cause something or create a situation that shouldn't happen. For me, I felt like I just needed to get through the night, and I felt like if I got a good start and run my own race, I was going to end up on the podium. It seemed like there was a lot going on behind me. I don't know. Honestly, in my mind, I was just trying to just hit my marks and just kept breathing, staying calm, and that was just what I had going through my mind.
Josh Mosman here, Motoxpod Action. You said all the right things there, but earlier in the race with Max Anstie, things did get pretty dicey. He was landing on tough blocks, passing you and getting side by side, and then in the sand section, you guys were close, like almost looking like rub and tread off the over-under, and then bang, trading paint a little bit on home base first turn, that turn right there with home base. So you said all the right things, but there were some dicey moments. Take us through that.
Yeah, a little bit of controlled chaos, but yeah, things heat up a little bit there. But honestly, it doesn't feel that crazy in the situation, you know, or at that time. Definitely was a little gnarly hearing his bike like right here in my head when we were going up that triple, and then sand section dicing up. It was honestly just really fun. I didn't feel like I was like scared of it at all. It's been, like I said, it's been a long time since I've raced, and I love that part of it, just going back and forth. So the battle that me and him had, and then kind of towed me into getting past Ryder and trying to. I knew if I could get past Ryder and just log some decent laps, I could kind of just back it off a little bit. So that's what I was trying to get a toe on him because he was obviously clearly going faster than both of us. So trying to take advantage of the situation, but yeah, it was definitely fun.
Last one. Pretty much all of you guys say like you never really know what's going to happen in this first round, where you're going to fit in. So what is the biggest learning thing that you picked up tonight that you're excited to kind of work on this week and take into San Diego?
Nothing. I feel like nothing's really came up that I've been like very blatant, like, oh, I need to work on this, you know. Definitely need to stop hitting the hay bales. I'm really digging the new hay bales. I've been in them all day, but need to get away from the edges of the track a little bit. But no, other than that, just I feel like I need to be better, a little bit better in the main, maybe just connecting the dots a little bit in the middle, not making so many mistakes. But I feel like overall I executed everything that I believed I could have and should have. Yeah, I mean, overall for me, I felt like it was a really solid night.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll hold on.
I would get away and
I'm driving.
the first 2 or 3 laps, I pulled a little gap, and a little surprising, but honestly, at that point, if I could give it all I got, and if I was going to win, or if I could back it down to a podium, that was my goal. So, but if I would have led laps and blown up and went to 5th, I would have been okay with that as well. But I fought it out, and ended up on the box.
Andrea, with Moto now, it looked like you took a moment to yourself after the race. What was going through your mind at that point?
I've dreamed about that since I was 3 years old, coming here watching these guys race. I consider this as a home race, being from Bakersfield, and a lot of people from home are here, and I guess just to look up into the crowd and think this is home. So yeah, I think it was just a special moment for me, and it'll be even more special when I get my first win.
Justin from Swinger Media. Ryder starts were money when they needed to be. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I really struggled with starts last year, and that was my main goal this year, was get some good starts, and I think I could have done that all last year at some races, but coming from the back is super tough in this class, and the whole shot did surprise me a little bit, but not with the work that we put in, and yeah, it felt good to be clear for sure.
Once Max got by you, did you learn anything from him? Was there anything he was doing differently that you maybe didn't expect?
Yeah, he was doing the on-off 3 on third baseline, and I didn't do it all day, and I got begged to do it, but I knew if I could just stick to that line, I'd be okay. Obviously, it wasn't the fast way around, but he came underneath me, and I knew he was doing that line, and that's really the only place he was getting me, and that was a second a lap, you know? So I knew the people behind me weren't doing it, so I knew if I could just log my laps and keep doing that line, I wasn't going to catch Max, but I could at least pull it into a podium, and I feel like for me, that's the maturity that I've learned. I'm only 20, but just to bring it in like that was, I feel like, a pretty good move on my part.
Adam from Track Talkers. You know, going into A1, there's a lot of unknowns, right? Especially as a racer. We've heard rumblings of how fast you were and you had speed at the test track. What were your expectations for this race, and how much have they changed after this?
Honestly, not much. Like, I knew I could do it, but man, you really got to put a whole solid day together at a Supercross race to be on the box. And I do give credit to these guys that have won championships, but yeah, I think the whole off season was one thing on my mind. I ended up on the box, and all day, just my head was going through it, and yeah, a lot of unknowns, but a lot more, I guess, known now that I ended up on the box.
You talked about, leading this race and how exciting that was, and then you also talked about kind of being able to back it down and still finish on the box. Did you kind of let yourself think about the win at any point, and how were the nerves when you were actually leading and thinking about this thing?
Really wasn't nerves. I was just focused forward, and I pulled that gap, and I'm like, well, if I can maintain this and do what I've been doing, then maybe I can win this thing. But literally, it's one section that got me tonight, and that's where Max was really good. Yeah, man, I think going forward, maybe if I led 7 laps tonight, I'd lead 8 next weekend, and then the weekend after, I can pull one of these off. So big learning steps, and glad to be here.
Ryder DiFrancesco, Jamie Guida, Motoxpod. This is the best start to your season and your pro career so far. What's been the biggest contributing factor to the improvements, or what will be the biggest contributing factor for the season?
I don't know. I think what got me here tonight and what made me really fight was I got passed with 8 corners to go last year, and I was in the same position I was tonight. And when Hayden was coming, I knew I could just give it all, and if that was crashing, that's fine, but at least I knew I left it all on the track, and that really stuck in my head all last year, and this is the best I've gotten off to any season, and hopefully it's just an uphill rise from here.
Awesome.
Just fix this up.
Ken, this was another really strong night for you. We saw that in the heat races, but on that main event, ultimately, what do you feel was the big difference maker for you?
honestly, Eli and we were the entire main event, the 20+1. I feel like we were bouncing between 1 second. Like I'd gain him in a little bit, and then he would make it back. So it was going like that the whole time. It kind of pissed me off a little bit, because every time you get that little bit closer, I was hoping that I could just latch onto that, and keep going. But unfortunately, it wasn't there. It was a tough track, very busy, and some of the transitions were a tiny bit soft from all the rain, but overall it was a pretty hard-packed track and a lot of rocks. So you had to be really patient. Some of the gaps, like on that far rhythm lane, the triple onto the tabletop, the gap overall was really long. So the top of the berm was breaking away, so you weren't really getting a really good drive out of it. So being patient there and then still making it on top of it, it's all these little areas that make a big difference. And I missed it a couple of times. And then towards the end, that was the closest that I've been the entire main event. So not the win, but I honestly couldn't be happier to start off Anaheim 1 again on the podium. I think if you can leave here being on the podium, doesn't matter if it's first or third, it's a good way to start.
Ken, Josh Mosman here, Motocross Action. First laps, it was just insane watching you carve through the pack. Making passes, specifically with Hunter Lawrence, you guys were super close. You were finding traction in places where it didn't even seem like you were on the track. I mean, you were just finding traction everywhere. Scrub coming up to Jorge Prado, scrubbing across him. If you guys were fighter pilots, you would have been in his draft there, in his afterburner. So just looked like you were going as fast as you ever gone. I mean, to me, it was like, man, this is the best Ken Roczen I've ever seen. And just tell us how those first couple laps felt, and specifically tell us what it was like to rebound after watching two of your competitors go out like that.
Yeah, first off, I appreciate it. Honestly, I have a lot of confidence in my motorcycle. I feel like it's working really well for me personally. And I think ultimately just not making any changes to the bike for months and months on end. I just have ridden it in all different kinds of dirt conditions. So, I mean, things can always happen, right? You can crash, be caught off guard, but overall, I just know my motorcycle. So, but at the same time, I honestly I can't even remember where I passed those guys, so I don't really know. Once the gate drops, I'm just trying to make my way up to the front so I can battle for the win. I was a little bit bummed on the red flag. I think it was Malcolm and Justin down. I don't know what happened, but obviously it didn't look that great. So it's a strange feeling being back on the gate and going again, but it's important to kind of block that side of things out as well, I was actually bummed for me personally as well because my start out of the gate, the whole drive down the start straight was actually really good on that first one, and I was happy with the track position that I had. And then to see the red flag, I was a little bit bummed, but in the end, everything worked out. So overall, I think I just have a lot of trust in my motorcycle. It's working good, and I can focus on racing.
Ken Roczen, this is Adam from Track Talker. One of the things that I've seen was, and that was very, very special to me, was the last 5 minutes of that race. I've seen so much body movement, so much snap from you, and I felt like that was something I've seen in your past where it was just unbelievable, and that's what makes Ken Roczen is those last 5 minutes that were truly unreal. Was that one of the bigger takeaways you're going to have from Anaheim 1, and what is the biggest takeaway in a positive way?
No, for sure. I just didn't want to let go until the checkered flag comes out. You never know what's going to happen. Lappers come into play. He could slide the front wheel or whatever, and before you know it, you're in striking distance, So I just kept going and kept going, but the tough part was that you couldn't override the track, like there's a very fine line of pushing really, really hard, and then something as simple as just spinning the rear out, and then the gap just grows again. So you didn't have the traction to go all out, so you kind of had to pick your battles a little bit. And at the same time, there are 16 races to go. I don't want to throw it away and be smart. And one thing in particular that always throws us, I feel like, a little bit off guard is these sand section, because you look at it, you want to rail it, but I always hit some kind of clay part and it just shoots you straight and you bolt off the track, So I don't know, it's just little areas that one lap you hit perfect and then the next lap you have hard pack underneath it and you can fly off the track. It's kind of like what I've done in the practice even, So pick your battles, be smart about it, and, second place it was tonight.
Jamie Guida, Motoxpod. Ken Roczen, after having a bunch of off-season type races, World Supercross, your bike's probably where you want it. Once you got here, did you make any major changes? Were the track conditions different than World Supercross?
I literally haven't done one click change since probably before Daytona, to be honest. I haven't tested, or I'm a little bit scared to mess it up. I just know it very well, and we kind of attempted to test, or we had it in our minds, and I always just said, no, I'm just riding, because like I said, I've ridden it on hard pack, sandy, clay, like it doesn't matter. And are there things that could be better at times? Maybe, but I'm a little bit worried about messing other areas up as well. And I think my riding shows that the bike's plenty good enough to be on top of the box. So.
Did you feel like there was anywhere where Eli was maybe better than you, and vice versa, where you were gaining on him?
I honestly, ironically enough, I kind of struggled in the whoops a little bit. I was going left, I was going middle, I was going right, and the line that I hit the most, the second whoop was really cupped out, and then the third one I feel like was completely gone, so it kind of just threw me off guard a couple of times, and then I moved back over to the right towards the end, and that's when I feel like I actually gotten closer a little bit again, because I got that triple afterwards, and I didn't do it for multiple laps in a row just because I messed the whoops up and didn't get the proper drive. So I feel like that's probably when I didn't hit it very well. I saw him keep, I don't know if he was skimming or whatnot, but he kept doing the triple afterwards, and then, he just kind of got a little bit of a gap. But I would have to rewatch the race to really pinpoint.
Ken, congratulations. That bull turn in center field seemed to really be giving racers some problems. I think it was either the last lap or second to last lap, you got close to the tough blocks. What was so difficult about that section?
Which one exactly?
It was the bull turn in center field right where Justin crashed.
Yeah, honestly, all the bull turns were really funky just because the rut is like a half an inch tall, So if you hit it right, you can get pretty good traction. But if you're too aggressive, your rear wheel slides over, your front wheel slides over, and then some of the little short takeoffs too, they were pretty knuckly, like they kind of bucked you quite good. So none of the berms had any deep rut that you can really rely on. So you just had to really stay on your toes.
Kenny, I got to give credit to Lewis Phillips for this, but we were talking there towards the end of the race about how incredible it is, 2026, and Eli Tomac and Ken Roczen are battling for wins.
We're ancient, vintage. It's a vintage power. So I don't know. I mean, it just shows, we're having fun with it, and we're still strong. So as long as that's the case, we'll be here.
One more. Kenny, can you talk about those two triple step-ons? Those looked incredibly difficult, and they were pretty big, and they didn't have a whole lot of run-up, along with how bad those corners were before. How are you able to adapt every lap to make sure you hit those good?
It really was. I mean, I think that's first base right there, that triple on along the far end right there, and just the gap overall was really big. And then you had the berm before. When it was perfect, no problem, super easy, but the top did break off more and more and more, so you couldn't rely on that. So we had to cut lower and lower, but there was nothing to like be really aggressive in the turn and get a handful of throttle and go on there, so we really had to seat bounce it. And then the one after the finish line, it was just a very, very odd angle, right? Like you land, you had a turn, and it kind of squared up, and then it turned again, but we come out of that little bank early, and it was so slippery, and you had a lot of holes, and then the takeoff was just, it wasn't a smooth takeoff, so you kind of went for the prayer every lap, you just mangle through the holes right there and go on, but it was really difficult, both of those triple step-ons. It's a tough one. Honestly, they were pretty equal, but in its own way, if that makes sense. I think on the sketchier side of things, the one after the finish line, just because you're really turning off that takeoff, and the takeoff was pretty rough, where for the most part, the one on first base, you kind of had a straight shot at it, but it was difficult to clear onto the tabletop. It was, you would have cased it straight, which would have been fine, where the other one after the finish line, if you high side a little bit, because it was that type of dirt that's hard pack and just sandy on top, then it would have been a different story. So I think on the sketchiness side of things, after the finish line.
Thank you, guys.
First of all, congratulations, Jorge. Where does this put you in terms of your expectations? Do you feel ahead of schedule or right where you expected to be?
No, really ahead of expectations. My goal coming into the weekend was basically to finish the weekend, really go through the day and just do the best I can. I had a great preparation this year, but still I'm super new to Supercross, so already getting the heat race win was awesome, but sometimes it's just a shorter race, so good start always makes a big difference in those, but yeah, super happy with my main event. The guys up front were ripping, and I was just not doing anything crazy. I was just riding a normal pace, let's say. I don't know how, but I just brought it till the end, and I saw checker flag, and I'm like, I don't know how I even got here. So yeah, I don't really have a lot of words to describe my feeling right now because it's just something I didn't think it would happen. So I just can say that hard work always pays off. So
What a way to kick off this new chapter.
Jamie Guida, Motoxpod. Jorge Prado, does this feel like a little bit of redemption of, hey, I knew I can do this. You know, last year, some of us in the media, fans, were a little down on you.
Well, I mean, I'm a very hard worker. Even last year when things didn't go as good, I was working super hard. So I knew once everything was in place, I was going to be good. But obviously, good talking about outdoors, not Supercross. Supercross, it's my 5th race, I think, on Supercross. So it's crazy. Like I don't even know how I managed to get here on the podium today, but yeah, it feels super good after a rough 25 to start this year like this. It's amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jorge, Josh Mosman, Motocross Action Magazine. First off, congratulations. You've come super far, and it's awesome to hear how confident you were coming into the season, and confident in your abilities, confident in your skills, and you knew you could do well. But it's also equally as awesome to hear you say, I didn't expect to be up here. I think that's a humble approach right now. You could say, I knew I was going to be up here any day, and you're taking the humble road by mentioning that, and I think a lot of people will appreciate that. But you looked amazing on the track. MXA Fantasy, all the different fantasy apps, people are putting in their riders, and I don't think anybody had you on the podium. So you looked amazing though in press day. You looked amazing in qualifying even today, this morning. So tell us about just the scrubs, hitting all the triples, like how comfortable were you on the track, and at what point did you think you could do this? Was it on lap 1, on lap 5, on lap 19? When did you think you could cross the line and be on the podium?
Well, starting with, I wouldn't even put myself on the podium or even a top 5 today, because what I saw also at the test track, I was riding good, but I wasn't sure if I could translate that speed into race day, and to be honest, I felt better on this track than I would feel during the week. So I really like racing, and I think for some reason, I'm just a better rider when it comes to racing, better than training. And today, once more, I show myself that once the gate drop, I'm always ready to go. And I mean, when you're behind the gate, you always try to win, but you also got to be realistic. And like I said before, my goal here today was just to finish the main event and get a lot of information and see, okay, now we got to work on this, and this for the upcoming races. And I mean, it's great to start the season this way, but I also, you know, don't want to start flying. I really need to keep myself with my feet on the ground. And like I said, I'm still new to this, so I need to learn. And yeah, this is great, amazing, but next weekend it's a different track, new opportunity for other riders also to make good progress during the week. So yeah, we just take it race by race, but this is amazing. It's amazing.
This is Justin from Swinger Media. The last couple laps, it seemed like you found a little bit of speed, maybe the person behind you catching up. Did you just get into a flow and then realize you needed more, or?
Yeah, I mean, I had just a normal pace. I didn't feel I was never really fast. I could always go faster, but I also didn't know the pace of the other guys. So I was just holding on my pace, and I was just cleaning the laps, not doing anything crazy. And then once I saw, I think Hunter passed Jason or something, I saw he kind of closed the gap to me a little bit. And then I saw Pedro, my mechanic, put on the pit board like 3 laps or something. I'm like, 3 laps, nothing. And I was like, this is nothing. I just 3 more laps and they got a podium, right? So I was thinking, okay, now it's where I really need to hold on and go. So I was hitting some corners a little bit faster, and to be honest, I felt great physically. I felt great, and I could push till the end. So I think my fitness saved me off, got me here on the podium today.
Adam from Track Talkers. Jorge, we talked about this a bunch of times, and you didn't want to say much in press, but this is one of the biggest bounce backs I've ever seen in motocross or supercross. You obviously made the switch from Kawasaki to KTM. In your words, is the bike the difference? Is the KTM that much better than the Kawasaki? Or is this also a little bit of, I've ridden this bike so much, it might not be better, it might not be worse, but I know this bike?
Well, like you said, I've been a KTM rider forever. So the guys at KTM, they also had a great setup. So once I jumped back on the KTM, I felt like the bike I was like, man, this setup is basically good for me, like already from day one. So this was a big advantage because I could already put a lot of laps this winter, just cleaning laps, not even testing. So this was a big advantage for me to learn, and I put so many hours on the bike. So coming to the weekend, I was more sure about myself on the track in a sense. Like I knew what was going to happen if I hit the whoops wrong, if I case something, and I had such a great feeling with the bike that I was feeling safe. And when you feel safe, you can always progress and go a little bit faster every time. And I think this is what happened this year with me. I always felt safe when I was running Supercross, so I could always make progress. And then, like I said, also fitness-wise, I felt very good. So I just had to click the laps and clean laps, and that's it. But yeah, the KTM, it's a good bike for me. I really understand the bike, and for some reason, it just clicks with me. Thank you.
Michael, it was a strong day for you, starting with those heat races. The speed specifically, you won that last chance qualifier. In the end result today, I guess, what is your initial impression?
I feel racy. I feel good. Yeah, stoked to be fifth on the night. I think that's a great start out for the season, and yeah, feel really positive. My bike's pretty good. We made some adjustments from first qualifying to second qualifying, and I thought that helped us a lot. And man, to get a really good start from the outside, I think bodes well for the future. So a little bit better gate pick, and we're gonna be right there.
Nicely done tonight. We'll open it up to questions from the media, guys.
Did the extra track time from the LCQ help you at all in the main event, you feel like?
Absolutely. There was a line in the whoops that I think all day I was a little bit unsure of my whoop entry, and during the LCQ I got quite a few passes and kind of by myself, no pressure, and was able to develop a good rhythm through there, and yeah, it felt great.
Kitchen and Max were stepping onto the tabletop out of turn 2 for most of the day. Well, why was that so difficult? Why wasn't that your preferred line? Why do you think so few guys did it?
Step on, step off the tabletop. I did it step on, step off a couple times, but you can go step on, step off, but then it was really difficult to get the next 3, so then you end up 2, 3. And it was fast, but it was slower entering because you had to open up the turn, and I wasn't able to get the 3 in the rhythm. Believe it or not, it was like the whole track you had to set up. So you had to go 3, 3 to be in a good spot to be fast for the double and then left on off. Yeah, it wasn't quite something I could do consistently, and so I resorted to the second best option over 3 and a 3-1 or 2-2, and that was something that was pretty consistent for me all night, and I think it was positive.
Michael Mosiman, you mentioned changes made during the day. Was that after the day program into the night or after the LCQ?
First qualifying.
What were the changes?
I was struggling with front traction, and I was struggling in the tight turn after the whoops, and we stiffened the rear to give me more front tire pressure. And I believe they made an internal change. I don't know all the details, but that was really positive.
Thanks.
Adam from Track Talkers. In that heat race, you obviously had a spill, and unfortunately, in your past, we've seen you not come back and return in this fashion. What was the difference tonight, and how is that going to be consistent throughout the season?
Yeah, it's a great question. I appreciate that. I've had to come back from so many things, and being on the verge of retirement, so much worse injuries, so much worse, and man, when you've been through stuff, it doesn't matter what you've gone through. Like when you've been through stuff that's way harder, then it's like, okay, I got this. I can handle this, and yeah, you just don't panic. And I think that being resilient is something that I feel like I embody. To get back up and keep going and don't quit. And so, yeah, tonight I think it was really cool to see for me the results of it, like where it pays off and you show up for the main event. And I'm riding like Michael Mosiman, and I'm not riding scared. So that was really cool to see for me, and just testament to all the work I put in.
All right, last question. Michael Mosiman, this is Josh Mosman. fun to see you up there. It was pretty serious though. Tell us what happened in that qualifying. A couple people saw that you crashed and posted a video, but nobody knows. Did you get neutral on the whip at the finish line?
Yeah, in qualifying, I on my fast lap, I was finishing the lap. I hit neutral at the base of the face of the finish line, and that was such a steep landing. I considered bailing, but stuck it out, and my wrists are hurting really bad. Possibly the reason why I crashed in the heat race, because when I took a hard impact to my wrist, I couldn't hold on and quite have the strength. So, yeah, go back, recover, and be good for next weekend.
Even though you're from California, you're going all the way back to Florida in between every race this year. Talk about the challenge of that. I mean, it's a little bit weird for people who know you live in California or you're from California, but now you live in Florida and you're going back and forth.
Yeah, my wife works. She's a lawyer, and she works 9 to 5, and so it doesn't make sense to stay out here. She's got work, and the farm's there. We have great facilities there. The flights are brutal, but I want to be with my wife, and so I'm not really complaining. So.
Thank you, Michael.
No one can.
Good evening, everybody.
All right, Ian Harrison, congratulations on the team's success and your success. You have watched Eli Tomac. We'll start with him. You've watched him sometimes beat your guys. You've studied him for years. What of Eli are you most proud of tonight?
Sometimes he beat us a lot. I would just say, like, the amount of work they put in is impressive, and that always pays back dividend. So yeah, he's a workhorse for sure.
Congratulations again.
Jamie Guida, Motoxpod. Ian Harrison, after the rounds of World Supercross, I feel like there might have been a little bit of concern, especially in the whoops. Did you guys, other than the scoop, did you guys make any significant changes, or did you realize pretty quickly it was really just the scoop?
No, definitely tire choice there wasn't the best, but we also got new suspension components that actually came in a couple weeks earlier, but we had no chance of changing them there because that was in Australia. The stuff was in a crate, so we had to wait for that. And when we got back and we tested that stuff, I felt like we made another nice little step forward.
You obviously put a lot of work in the last couple of years getting the bike ready with Chase. How different is the bike that Eli is on compared to what Chase ended off with last year, and is Prado's bike very similar as well?
Good question. They're actually quite different, all three of them. Just the way they set up the engine, the way they set up their suspension, and the suspension that we have with Eli and Prado is all new stuff. It's we just got it a few months back, so yeah, it's actually very different.
Justin from Swinger Media. With landing two guys on the box, was that expected or what you shoot for?
No, that's what we shoot for, and I just feel so blessed and humbled that we have two guys on the podium tonight. This field is deep, it's stacked, and to do that is truly a big feat. So I'm proud of the team and everyone who's put the work in behind the scenes and the riders themselves. Yeah, really, really proud.
The new fork and shock that you have from WP, can you maybe expand on how it's different, why it's different, and also whether you expect it to go the long haul and ultimately not have the same issues as you did last year?
Yeah, of course. You know, you're always trying to improve, and it doesn't always go that way. But we have a good group of guys there now, and I think they really have a good grasp of what we can do to get better. We all put our heads together. Everyone had ideas that we could try, and we were lucky enough to roll it all into one package. And when we put it on the bikes, it took some fine tuning for each rider, of course, but they all said, yeah, this is better. And for the amount they ride, I knew that it was better. It wasn't just a guess. It wasn't just a one lap thing. It was hours and hours of riding. So yeah, good.
Jorge Prado, pretty amazing. He was quick all day. Did you see that coming and test him, or did you feel he upped his level in the first round?
No, I've always felt like Jorge is an incredible rider. I haven't worked with him that much. He did most of his riding in Europe, but you can see that he's talented, and you know he went through some equipment this winter, and he put in a lot of hours. And when you put in that much time, you know, there's gonna be some reward behind that.
Ian Harrison. Ian Harrison, Adam from Track Talkers. I didn't get to hear it, but I want to hear the conversation that you had between you, the team, and Eli about this whole scoop situation. 'Cause I know he had the scoop tire on. It's a little taller. He likes the rear high. That smaller knob is going to allow that rear end to be even higher. Was that in the conversation, and was it like pulling teeth? Take us through it verbatim.
No, I think after that race, going there, the good thing about doing races like that is that it shows you your weak points, right? And then when you have data on the bike and you can show them facts that, hey, this could be part of the reason, then I think they're a lot more open-minded. So when we got back to the test track and we tried a few things, we even tried this is the first time I've ever heard of it, but the pizza cutter. That's the smaller tire.
Yep.
But yeah, we tried all those things and we really just gave it a fair shot, and then in the end it was his decision. He's got to ride the bike, you know. So that's what he decided on, and yeah, I think, in my opinion, he made the right choice for tonight anyway.
All right, Ian, Tyler with Track Talkers as well. I want to talk about the third musketeer, Aaron Plessinger. He was about one corner away of having a phenomenal night. Where's Aaron's spirits at right now? And then what have you seen during the week on like kind of what we can expect to see Aaron, you know, moving forward?
Yeah, thank you for asking that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron, he's the life of our team. You know, the guy is so upbeat and the hair blowing in the breeze there. But he also had a good off season, put in a lot of laps, and he just steadily made progress. He got, in the beginning, he was a little bit off Malcolm, and then apparently he got, you know, a little better. We went there a couple weeks ago, and he was getting better. And in typical Aaron fashion, he seemed to like roll into the end of his boot camp with speed and endurance, which is nice after how things went last year. It was good to see that he could really handle doing the motos and the pace and all of that. And then tonight, yeah, this is our sport. It's, you know, the highs are high and the lows are lows, and before you know it, you know, things just changed. But I have no doubt he'll be back swinging next week.
Would this have been possible without the warm-up races? How much of a fast track was that for you guys?
Another good question, Lewis. I think they definitely helped us in this case with a rider coming to a new brand. I mean, how impressive is that for Eli? He switches brands, you know, I don't know, he's ridden a lot now, and he's won on all of them, and then he wins for us. It's just amazing. Yeah, and he's just turned 33. Yeah, incredible.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.